US President Donald Trump has issued one of his most forceful warnings to China, declaring that he will impose tariffs of up to 155% on all Chinese imports if a new trade deal is not reached by November 1. The statement, which has sent ripples through global markets and diplomatic circles, reinforces Trump's long-standing America First philosophy, a doctrine centered on protecting US industries, jobs, and economic sovereignty from what he calls decades of unfair international trade practices. Speaking with his characteristic assertiveness, Trump emphasized that the era of the United States being taken advantage of by foreign powers is over. He accused China, along with several other nations, of manipulating trade systems, currency policies, and intellectual property laws to gain unfair advantages over American producers. According to Trump, these countries have built their wealth on the backs of American workers, exploiting the openness of the US economy while maintaining rigid barriers against American exports. He stated that his administration, and any future leadership under him, would not tolerate such economic abuse any longer. Trump described the proposed 155% tariff as both a deterrent and a correctional measure designed to reset global trade dynamics in favor of the United States. For too long, we have let other countries take advantage of our kindness, our innovation, and our wealth. That stops now, he declared. This latest warning marks a renewed escalation in Trump's trade rhetoric against China, reminiscent of his aggressive policies during his presidency from 2017 to 2021. During that period, he imposed hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs on Chinese goods, triggering a historic trade war that reshaped global supply chains and forced several multinational corporations to reconsider their dependence on Chinese manufacturing. Trump's message is clear. If Beijing fails to negotiate a fair and balanced trade agreement by November 1st, the United States will respond with severe economic penalties that could cripple Chinese exports and strengthen US domestic industries. Such a move, however, could also have global repercussions, potentially leading to higher consumer prices, market volatility, and retaliatory measures from China. In his remarks, Trump accused previous US administrations, both Republican and Democratic, of allowing China to engage in unfair trade practices without consequence. He pointed to issues such as intellectual property theft, dumping of low-cost products, and forced technology transfers, claiming that these practices have hollowed out American manufacturing and led to millions of job losses. He argued that his hardline stance is not only necessary, but overdue, asserting that no nation should prosper by breaking the rules of fair competition. Trump's proposed tariff plan of 155% would be one of the harshest economic sanctions ever imposed on China, effectively doubling or even tripling the cost of many imported goods. Economists suggest that such tariffs would impact products ranging from electronics and machinery to clothing, metals, and household items. While Trump insists that the tariffs are aimed at leveling the playing field, critics warn that the move could fuel inflation and disrupt global trade networks. Nevertheless, Trump defended his approach by saying that short-term economic pain would be worth the long-term gain of restoring American manufacturing independence. "We will make what we need right here in the USA," he said, adding that the tariff threat is intended to bring factories and jobs back home while reducing reliance on foreign supply chains, a theme central to his economic vision. The warning also serves a strategic political purpose as Trump continues to position himself as a leading figure in the upcoming 2024 presidential election. His comments resonate strongly with his voter base, particularly among blue-collar workers, farmers, and small business owners who believe globalization and outsourcing have weakened America's economy. By emphasizing trade toughness, Trump seeks to distinguish himself once again as the defender of American workers and a leader willing to confront China directly. Analysts view this development as both an economic warning and a campaign message. By setting a firm deadline of November 1st, Trump is creating a narrative of strength and accountability, challenging Beijing to respond. Some experts believe that China may attempt to open new negotiation channels to avoid further escalation, while others warn that Chinese retaliation could be swift and severe, potentially targeting American agricultural exports, technology companies, and financial interests. If enacted, the 155% tariffs could represent the next chapter of a prolonged US-China trade conflict, with far-reaching implications for global trade routes, inflation trends, and geopolitical alignments. The US and China together account for nearly 40% of global GDP, meaning that tensions between the two have the power to influence everything from commodity prices to stock markets worldwide. Trump concluded his statement with a direct message to both allies and adversaries. The days of exploiting America are over. We will trade fairly, or we will not trade at all. He reiterated that the United States would continue to support nations that engage in mutual respect and fair trade, but those who seek to profit at America's expense would face immediate and overwhelming consequences. As the November 1st deadline approaches, global observers are watching closely to see whether China will yield to pressure or brace for another economic showdown. The situation highlights a critical crossroad in international trade, one where nationalism, economics, and politics intersect. Trump's warning not only challenges China's economic strategies, but also tests the resilience of global cooperation in an increasingly competitive world. If history is any indication, Trump's words may not be mere rhetoric, but a prelude to action. His message is unmistakable. The US will no longer tolerate exploitation, and any nation that challenges its economic sovereignty will pay the price. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world. See you in the next one.